Morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network, and today's topic is being present to the blessings. So, we're on the eve of Thanksgiving, and this is an opportunity to really presence ourselves to all there is to be thankful for. But before we get started, let's just take a minute or two to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, your molecules, your electrons, creating a brilliant beam of light and energy from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together. Vigorously rub your hands together to feel the friction, the temperature, the pressure, the motion, the tickling and tingling when you stop. And allow all those sensations to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables us to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Rosalind. Good morning to everyone else who's joining us today. We're talking about being present to the blessings. And this comes about from really just a random moment that I experienced last night, actually, where out of nowhere I was sort of looking at my life and thinking, and not just thinking, but experiencing, wow, what a wonderful life to be appreciating, like to step into appreciation for the experience of my life. And I think that this is something that we can do kind of regardless of our circumstances, that we can always have the opportunity to see the glass as half full or half empty. And it's not that there aren't challenges, but that's part of what to embrace. That's part of the magnificence of our lives. And also to look at the intentions that we've set for ourselves and notice how those intentions are getting fulfilled. They may not have come to fruition fully, but we can see glimmerings. We can see inklings often of what's to come in terms of those manifestations. And I invite you to just look at your life, step back and look at the magnificence of your life without the critical eye. Because I think, what I realized in this moment of actual basking, like I just had this moment of delight and real appreciation for wow, what a pretty amazing life. And as much work as I've done And as positive as I have been able to allow myself to be, I think that the experience of life has been shadowed by a long-standing pattern of still, believe it or not, the doingness. I think we're all subject to that. Like the just put one foot in front of another and move through life. And I didn't I really hadn't given myself the opportunity, or maybe it's not just doingness, really, because I do experience myself immersed in life, but stepping back and relishing, like looking at, well, what was this week? And this week was filled with, like last week, someone said, they asked me how I was doing. I said, it was a miraculous week. And there were all kinds of challenges. I could have chosen to focus on those challenges, or I could look at the miracles that occurred through that week and the new connections and the beautiful communications and the moments of appreciation when I could be fully present. And I invite you to look for yourselves in your own life to find these gems that are there all the time, and to really allow yourself that basking, to say, wow, what an adventure. What an adventure this life has been up until now. And who knows where it could go moving forward. What a gift. And to notice the intentions that you have for your life and that you're moving in that direction. Not to be looking at where you're not there yet, not to be looking and focusing on getting somewhere, but to notice that that intention has already taken you however far you've come. Like to be deliberately allowing yourself to see the half full glass or the full glass rather than the empty one. Looking at what's the richness of it rather than what's missing. Because we're often obsessed with improving and refining and achieving and on and on and on, rather than giving ourselves the gift to stand back and say, holy moly, look at this. This is amazing. This is amazing. And not from a space of having overcome hardship, but from the space of manifesting our dreams. And so it's not that we're there. It's not that we have to have arrived, but to be able to look and see the movement, or where we are in relation to our intentions for ourselves. And if you don't yet have strong intentions for your life, here's an opportunity to engage in developing some, to create some conscious and deliberate intentions about where you want to go, what you want to, how you want your life to unfold, and then to be able to enjoy that, to be able to savor it, even in this moment, wherever you are, what intentions or no intentions, to just be in the fullness of it this day before Thanksgiving. You know, this is what is a way of giving thanks, and who are we giving thanks to, or what are we giving thanks to? Whether it's a higher power that you connect to, a higher dimension of yourself, whether it's life itself, whether it's family or friends, whatever it is that you give thanks to actually be present to the blessings, to relish and embody them and enjoy them, and let it go to your heart. You know, so much of this stuff for me, I have to confess, is that it's often mental. It's often mindset. It's often my thoughts trying to direct traffic, so to speak. And I don't as often get to have the emotional experience of that richness and like this sense of satisfaction to just say, wow, look at this. Look at how magnificent this life is. Whatever your circumstances, whatever the challenges, to just step into that space of awe and wonder for the blessings, not in spite of all the pain or challenge or whatever, but to really just let that sit somewhere else completely without mitigating the the basking in the deliciousness, because I would guarantee that there's some form, some space in your life of deliciousness that you can tap into regardless of what else is going on. And in stepping into that deliciousness, like to really just savor it, I think is one of the highest forms of giving thanks. I think it's one of the highest forms of prayer, is rather than an entreaty, you know, a request, a begging, you know, a calling forth. Instead, it's stepping into this deep gratitude and appreciation. Instead of coming from need, to be coming from fulfillment, to indulge ourselves in those moments, at least a moment of satisfaction and delight. How can we do that? Can we allow that for ourselves? I think that that's one of the most profound ways that we can give thanks, is to be in appreciation. Appreciation even more than gratitude, because gratitude, to me anyway, in my world, is externalizing the source of those gifts. It's and maybe we believe that those gifts come from external sources, but what I'm talking about is having an internal experience of the richness of the gift itself, appreciation, basking, savoring, delighting in, unadulterated delight for the space of whatever it is in your life that you can find that kind of appreciation for. To just look at the trajectory of your life with a story, with an eye toward what's working and what's worked, rather than what's missing or what has yet to be done. But just to say, holy moly, look at this. Like, look at the life that you've created around yourself from rose-colored glasses instead of what's wrong. And maybe you do that already. And if so, that's a wonderful gift that you have to be able to do that. I think so many of us are conditioned to be looking at what's missing. Good morning, Shosha 13. So good to have you joining us again this morning. Welcome. So just I think we're driven to the next thing, to fixing, making things better, filling in gaps, getting somewhere else. And all of these predispositions have a way of leading us away from the moment and just stepping back. I know I talk a lot about being present, but part of how we can recognize this is by comparing and contrasting it to that, whatever this and that might be. So today and yesterday, or um, the brightness of the light, even. How do we know that it's bright? Because we know what darkness is, right? So I'm just saying, I had this moment that was just really unfettered by any of the contrast. It was just delighting in and recognizing, wow, look at this life that I've created. And stepping into the love of the things and of the beingness of that life. And again, it's not that there's not all kinds of stuff you could find wrong with it. But what if you could look at your life and just say, wow, wow. I think there's an amazing power in that, to be delighting in the freedoms that we do have. It's not that there aren't constraints. It's not that there aren't challenges. But there are blessings always. And when we can allow ourselves to step into and be present to those blessings, oh my heavens, what a gift. What a gift that we're giving ourselves to just relish that. I use a lot of gustatory terms here, taste and eating, and I mean, it says Thanksgiving is coming, right? So the deliciousness, savoring the deliciousness, the sweetness of life. And to take some time to look at what is the sweetness in this moment in your life, to find that deliciousness. because it's there. It's there for all of us. It's very much about what do we choose to put our attention to. Why not give yourself that gift of being present to the blessings? Without the presence, at least for a moment, without the presence of all the stuff that's not the way you want it to be. But just to allow for the wow. There's a tagline, allow for the wow, right? There's so much wow when we can give ourselves the grace to be present to it. And I think I was so taken by that moment because it came over me spontaneously, and that's the greatest gift. I mean, but we can prepare the stage for that. So something that I've been doing for a couple months at least is when I wake up, as I get out of bed, I shout. I live alone, so I can shout. um, I just shout, "Good morning, beautiful life. Good morning, magnificent life." And what just in the act of saying that, I know it probably sounds really corny and silly, and it cracks me up to know that I do that. But I have to tell you that that's something that simple, even when I wasn't feeling it, hollering it out, "Good morning, beautiful life. Good morning, magnificent life," shifts my physiology. And I can imagine that it would also shift yours. And I think what happened was that it sunk in. And I had this spontaneous revelation around my beautiful life. And I don't think that that's unique. I don't think that's a unique experience to me. I think that that's available to all of us. And I do think that it's priming the pump, letting your body and being realize that you have a beautiful, magnificent life. And I can tell you that I didn't feel that way when I started saying that. Because especially when I'd wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh. And so I replaced the with good morning, beautiful life. And I think it's making a difference, like on a deep, deep level. Because while I may have thought that, yes, there's so many things to be grateful for, the physical, emotional, experiential aspect of that, rather than just the mental aspect of it, is a whole different dimension. So try that goofy practice out, because I think it's one of the most simple things to do that can make a profound shift. It's a way to condition ourselves. And part of why it's effective is because, at least for me, I think part of why it's been effective is because there would be getting up, and why not do good morning, beautiful life? Why not do it, really do it? And there's an emotional shift, and the emotional shift triggers a physiological shift, and the movement also helps to support the emotional shift. And what happens is that programming gets into our cells to reprogram like, okay, here we go again, gotta rev up. Instead, we're just like a spark. Super powerful. Maybe corny, maybe silly, because it feels silly to even share it with you. But such a powerful thing. And so that's a way that we can find even greater inroads to being present to the blessings. And why not be able to live a life like that, where we're living in magic and wonder and awe and joy, cultivating joy. It may not be the natural state, but we can cultivate more of it, yes? So that's it for today. I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live here each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I invite you to like, follow, and share Enlightened World Network and me. The links are in the description. And I wish you all a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving. And as always, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share these morning musings on what it is to be human. And I'm so grateful.